Hello, and you're watching TV9 News, and I'm your host Deepak. Now on Monday, India recorded 1,03,558 fresh COVID-19 cases, which is the biggest ever surge daily recorded so far. Now such desperate times call for desperate measures, so states where cases have risen beyond normal have imposed restrictions to flatten the curve. So let's take a quick look at the restrictions imposed across various states across the country. First, let's start with the state that is driving the COVID-19 cases in the country, Maharashtra. Now, a night curfew would be in place across the state from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. A weekend lockdown will also be effective from 8 p.m. on Friday to 7 a.m. on Monday. Gatherings of 5 or more people has been banned in the state. Shopping malls, bars, restaurants and eateries will be open only for takeaways. Now, shops providing essential services can operate with normal capacity. Government offices will be allowed to function with 50% staff, whereas private offices have been asked to shift to the work from home model. Religious places, gyms, amusement parks, indoor sports complexes, parks, grounds, beaches, saloons and parlors will remain closed to curb the spread of COVID-19. Now, all home delivery personnel will have to be vaccinated under the purview of centers' vaccination rules, and until they take the shot, they will have to carry a negative test certificate which can be valid up to 15 days. Now, vaccination will however continue unabated for 24/7. Public transport will also have to adhere to a few rules and regulations. Auto rickshaws can ferry 2 passengers apart from the driver himself. Taxis can have a driver plus 50% of the vehicle capacity, and for buses, no standing passengers, but it has been allowed to run in full seating capacity. In trains, however, no standing passenger will be allowed in the general compartment of outstation journeys, and masks have been made mandatory. If a passenger is not wearing a mask, then the driver and the violator will be fined 500 rupees each. All public transport vehicles will have to be sanitized after use. Now let's move on to Karnataka. Swimming pools will however remain closed. Gyms will operate with a few guidelines laid out by the Karnataka state government, and one of those guidelines are that masks have been made mandatory for gyms, and apart from that, equipments will have to be sanitized after every single use. Now, failing to follow these guidelines, the gyms may be subject to closure till the end of the COVID-19 pandemic. Boarding schools and residential hostels shall be closed except for classes of 10th, 11th, 12th and for students of higher and professional courses appearing for board or university examinations, and also health sciences. Now, the number of persons in public transport shall not exceed the seating capacity of that particular public transport. Now, apart from that, practice of work from home shall also be followed in offices and workplace as far as possible. Maximum of 50% seating capacity has been allowed in cinema halls. No gatherings have been allowed at places of worship in Karnataka. Now, moving on, let's take a look at the curfews or restrictions in Rajasthan. Night curfew will be imposed starting today between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. the next day. State government has ordered suspension of classes between 1 to 9 at schools, and maximum number of people at social gatherings has been restricted to 100. Now, college classes except for the final year students will remain suspended. Nursing and medical colleges will function as earlier. Now, travelers will have to keep this point in their mind. They will have to mandatorily submit a negative test report, and that should not be older than 72 hours of their arrival. Now, RT-PCR tests have also been made mandatory for those who are entering the state. Dining at restaurants during curfew hours has been prohibited. Swimming pools will also remain suspended. Now, moving on to Haryana. Haryana government has imposed restrictions on social gatherings. Indoor gatherings is restricted to a maximum capacity of 50% of the hall's capacity, and at max only 200 people can attend a gathering in indoor wedding halls or party halls. Now, in open gatherings, 500 has been marked as the maximum number of people that can attend outdoor gatherings, and for funerals the number has been capped at 50 only. Now, in Uttar Pradesh, the government has affirmed that an urban area with even one COVID-19 case would be declared as a containment zone. Now, area of 20 houses will be sealed even if one case is detected. So, if more than one case is detected in an area, it will result in sealing down that area of about 60 houses, and movement of people in containment zones will be stopped until the 14-day period ends. Now, when it comes to Jammu and Kashmir, the government has announced closure of schools for 2 weeks. Odisha government has announced a night curfew in 10 districts which have been identified as hotspots in the state. So apart from these restrictions, the message from the government is loud and clear. All the safety and precautionary measures will have to be followed. Masks have to be worn in public places. Social distance has to be maintained. And most importantly, hand hygiene is also very important to be maintained by all the people across the country. Failing to which, the government might even decide to impose a lockdown if the cases are rising beyond control. So put your masks on, follow all the safety precautionary measures, because that will help us curb and also flatten the growing COVID-19 curve in the country. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Also, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to TV9 News on various social media platforms.